What's going on, YouTube family? This your man Pristine, back with another video. Here before you, I've got the Nubia Flip 5G. Intrigued by this device, obviously, it being a foldable. Those of you that, really follow my channel, it should be clear at this point that, the foldable tech is what piques my interest most as it pertains to these smartphones. And so, whenever a new one comes out that can compete, with the likes of Samsung and Motorola, which, those in my mind are the two companies that seem to be, really leading the pack as it pertains to the whole clamshell style folding device. I'm always intrigued to see, other competitors, enter into that realm to see if they can give the heavy hitters a run for their money. And so this just, popped up on my radar about a month ago. Pre-ordered it as soon as pre-orders became available, and it was just delivered today, which is the 25th of April. I think the street release date was the 23rd. So today is Friday, came out on Wednesday. I actually thought that I was going to receive it on Wednesday, because usually if you pre-order, companies, they will send the devices out a little early to ensure that they're delivered to you on the street release date. But that wasn't necessarily the case here with the Nubia Flip 5G. Nubia. I've had one device previously, with them, once before, and I really liked that device. It was a pretty cool concept. I mean, it had two screens. There was a screen on both sides. No, it wasn't a foldable. It was a candy bar style device, and it had your main screen, and then when you turned it around, it had another screen on the rear. It was a very unique design, and I like that type of innovation. Call it a gimmick or not, but I mean, it's different from the glass sandwiches that we're used to. So I've got a little bit of a history with Nubia, and so I felt intrigued to get the Flip here just to see how it stacks up against the competition. Now, as I mentioned, the street release date was the 23rd of April. The price point for the Nubia Flip 5G is $499, which is what this variant is. Now, this is $499 with 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. Okay, now there is another variant that houses 12 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of storage. That one is $699, and I don't believe it's available as of yet. The other day when I was on Nubia's website, just checking my order status, I saw that for the $699 12 gig of RAM, 512 gig of storage variant, it said notify me. So basically, it's not quite available yet, but as soon as it becomes available, then, if you click on notify me, then Nubia is going to ask you for your email address. And, once that variant is available, then they'll shoot you an email saying, hey, we've got the device in, go ahead and order, and, we'll get it out to you. So, $499. I also managed to get like $20 off. It was like some promotion that they did, like an early bird special or something like that. If you pre-ordered it at a certain time, you got some additional money shaved off. So I was able to take advantage of that. So I didn't pay the full $499, which 20 bucks is 20 bucks. You know what I mean? If I can pay less for an item, then hey, so be it. I mean, and that's right out the gate. And so, and apparently there's other sites that, has this phone, going for some deals right now too, even though it just came out. So, depending on where you buy the phone, or, if you can, catch the deals on Nubia's website, then, you may be able to score this phone at, a more solid price than $499. And I think that $499 is a great price for this device with everything that it's offering. So speaking of what it's offering, when this device is unfolded, we've got a 6.9 inch, obviously foldable OLED display that's 120 hertz. The resolution is 1188 by 2790. Okay, we have a 21 by 9 aspect ratio. We've got a 95.4% screen to body ratio. PPI pixel density is 439. And the cover display, now the cover display is a little bit different. Now, we've seen this before, but companies, they switch it up and they do different things with the cover display on a foldable device here in 2024. So on the Nubia Flip 5G here, it's a circular 1.43 inch 466 by 466 pixel display. Okay. And you have the capabilities to swipe right or left to interact with the cover display. I believe you can also swipe up or down to interact with the cover display. Could be wrong about that one, but I know for sure you can scroll and swipe side by side, left to right, to be able to interact with the outer display on this device. The internal specifications, the guts, we are working with a 4 nanometer 5G Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 system on a chip. Okay. As I mentioned, 256 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. We've got an octa-core CPU. We've got an Adreno GPU of 644. There's no SD card slot for memory expansion. So, whichever variant that you pay for, that's what you get as far as your storage is concerned. We are also running Android 13 over my OS 13. Now, I'm not exactly sure, where this device, stands as far as like getting updates, timely, software updates, security patches, things of that nature. I don't know. I don't want to say that they're not going to get them. I haven't seen anything that says that they are going to get them, but it doesn't mean that they aren't. So I try not to speak on things that I'm ignorant to, so I'll find out a little bit more information about that, and then when I hit you with the full pristine review, then I have some more definitive answers on whether or not this device is in line to get the latest and greatest software updates and security patches. All right, now for the camera sensors, we've got the main camera is a dual camera system housing a 50 megapixel wide lens featuring PD AF. This is a f1.8 aperture lens, and this is a wide lens, might I add. The secondary camera is a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now, when you open this device up, there is a selfie camera, which is 16 megapixels. This also is a wide lens as well. We do have 4K recording. I'm not sure if it's at 30 or 60 FPS because it didn't specify, the information. It didn't provide my source of information didn't provide that bit of information about the frames in which you can, shoot this content in, 4K or 1080p. It just says, there is 4K recording, there is 1080p recording, and then the features are LED flash, HDR, and panorama. Again, I just mentioned 16 megapixel selfie snapper when this phone is open. Nubia is claiming that this device at this price range will be a photo champ. And you got to be careful what you say, because there's some devices that are in that price range that have cameras that are on beast mode. So looking forward to getting this phone cracked out the box and getting it set up, definitely taking some photos just to see what this camera is really capable of. Now the battery, we have a 4,310 milliamp hour non-removable battery. Charging, we've got a Type-C port. There's a 33 watt fast charging brick that comes in the box. Some of you OEMs need to take notes on that. We've got power delivery 3.0. QC4 Plus is also being advertised. I'm not sure if that's Qi enabled. I don't know. I have to put it on my wireless charger to see what happens. Nubia is claiming that you can get 50% charge in 18 minutes. That's what Nubia is claiming. And so I will definitely, put that to the test as I'm, putting this device through its paces to see, what it's really about. All right, now the colors that you can get this device in is Cosmic Black, Gold Sunshine, which is the variant that this is. This is the Gold Sunshine variant of the device. And then you got Flowing Lilac, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's like a chameleon colored device, right? It changes different colors, depending on how the light hits it. But I noticed that it was leaning more towards that pink and purplish color, and I'm like, not really my cup of tea. So I just went with the Gold Sunshine color, which you guys will see here once I crack this thing up out the BIOMETRICS. All right, now the dimensions. This phone weighs 209 grams. And open, it's 170 by 75.5 by 7.0 millimeters. Now, additional features: Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, dual stereo speakers, side-mounted fingerprint reader that is a different color than the device itself, which I think is a really, really nice touch. Yeah, so we've got the side-mounted fingerprint reader, nano physical SIM or eSIM capability, multifunctional external display. Again, we talked a little bit about that. You can get your time and, maybe some contacts, maybe get a little calendar action going on it, but it's a fairly small outer display. So I can't imagine that you'll be able to do too much on it, but I don't know. I haven't cracked it out the box yet. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised at what it can do. We do have Face Unlock, and you can take advantage of Face Unlock whether the device is open or closed. We have DTSX, ultra processing and Snapdragon sound technology. So, they got all these, these big name technical specs for the sound quality. I mean, it better live up to that. You know what I mean? You can't say that it's got DTSX and ultra processing and Snapdragon sound technology. That just sounds advanced, right? It sounds like it's gonna, it sounds like it's gonna be able to rock, and it better rock, because if it doesn't rock, oh man, I don't know, man, I don't know, but we gonna see. All right, now Wi-Fi 6, dual rail suspended centerboard hinge for seamless folding. Again, these clamshell devices, or any foldable device for that matter, they get tested extensively before they're released into the wild. They're put on machines where they're folded, in some cases more than 200,000 times. And this is before it's, sent to the stores for sale. So these phones, I mean, you have a specific way with a foldable that you have to care for it, but a lot of times they come out of the box brand new, battle tested. Being able to withstand, significant amounts of folds and stuff. And I think the upkeep of these phones just depends solely on how you're using it. Some people are really hard on their devices. Me, I'm not one of them. I pretty much baby my devices. They're all in cases. Not really a screen protector kind of guy, just because I never drop my phones. But a good solid case is really, all that I need. And speaking of case, case comes in the box. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nubia for that. We also have NFC door unlocking, which I think is very, very dope. I mean, now this is a feature that Nubia is advertising on the website, but it is region specific, right? So if you want to take advantage of that feature, being able to lock and unlock the door to your home with your Nubia Flip 5G, I mean, it solely depends on where you are in the world. And then you'll just have to, look at the manual or something like that to determine, which feature works in what part of the world versus what feature doesn't work. Am I making sense? I feel like I'm articulating or trying to articulate what I'm trying to say. Maybe it's not coming out right, but being able to take advantage of that feature solely depends on where you are in the world, period. That's what it is. All right, so the box presentation, I mean, you've got Nubia Flip. Like, I like the square design. I mean, it's got some class to it. You know, Nubia there. Okay, at the top of the device, you've just got the EIMI number and all that jazz. Nubia on the left. And then on the bottom, powered by ZTE. Okay, and I'm okay with that because I am a fan of ZTE products. So get my little trusty knife right here, and let's crack this thing on open. Let me see how we get it out of here. All right, so I'm gonna just straight down the middle. Ooh, I like that. I like that. The box has like this little glitter shimmer to it. Yeah, I like that. All right, and then you see here back of the box, we've got Snapdragon 7 mobile platform Gen 1 DTSX, licensed by Qualcomm, Wi-Fi 6 certified, Snapdragon sound. All right, cool. Okay, let's see. Actually, let's get the unboxing knife out of the way. These things, they be in these boxes. Let's see if I can get it open here. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. We got action, we got action. Okay. Look at that, all right. So right when you take the top off, you are greeted with your Nubia Flip 5G, which Nubia Flip 5G, 6.9, Full HD Plus AMOLED, 120 Hertz. 50 megapixel AI dual camera. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention when talking about the cameras, these cameras are AI dual cameras. All right, 4310 milliamp hour battery, 256 gig of ROM, 20 gigabytes of RAM, and Snapdragon 7 Gen 1. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the device. Wow, that is a pretty serious circular camera hump on the back of this device. I mean, that I've seen, you know, some shorts of this device, but yeah, you don't really get the gist of how striking this phone is until you've got it in hand. Now let's go ahead and, you know, get it out the plastic. All right, a little tab right here. Oh, come on. I'm trying to open it without ripping it out the packaging. Okay. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nubia Flip 5G. It's actually a bit wider than I thought it was gonna be. Okay. Big device, obviously, you know, when it's open, you know, 6.9 inches. I mean, that's almost 7 inches. I mean, this is, you know, this is darn near a Nexus 7. Y'all remember that tablet? Man, that joint went crazy when it came out. Yeah, I'll go ahead and hit the power button. I know we got to have a little bit of juice, and then we'll finish going through the contents in the box. Okay, got a little vibration there. Nubia, be yourself. Oh, I will, baby. Don't know how to be nothing else but me. Okay, so take the little lid off there, and this feels a little heavy. This has something of significance in it. Okay, so we got the SIM ejector tool. Wow, okay, we've got the Nubia Flip 5G quick start guide. You see how thick that is? That does not look like a quick start guide. Looks like a guide, but not a quick start guide. My goodness. This has to be like multi-languages or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's the quick start guide in a multitude of languages. That's why it's so thick. Okay, here, ladies and gentlemen, is our case, which shout out to Nubia, man. I mean, they got the charging brick in the box, the case in the box, and the case is nice and clear because, you know, I like transparent cases just so I can appreciate the beauty and the aesthetics of the device. Now, but it's that frosted, I don't mind that. It's like that frosted, you know, plastic look or rubber. Now, yeah, that's like a plastic, but hey, better this than nothing. You know what I mean? I don't have to go spend anything, and you could see It says Nubia on the case. Like, I think that's a nice touch right there. That's pretty dope. I like that. I like that. All right. And this must be the box where we've, yeah, this has a little bit of heft to it. So here is our 33 watt charging brick. And this is the international version of this device. And so what Nubia did was of course, they sent this, but they also sent an adapter with it so I can plug it in and charge my device. Okay. So that was very, very thoughtful of Nubia. Even though I do have other chargers, you know, universal Type-C chargers that are fast chargers, it wouldn't have mattered to me. But, you know, some people, you know, this being in the box in 2024, I mean, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? So this being in the box, and, you know, them showing, you know, consideration for where you are in the world and knowing that you may need the adapter, and they include the adapter in with the packaging with no additional charge. I mean, so, you know, I'm very, very, very appreciative of such a thing. And so I believe that's it. Let's see, got another box here, but I think this may just be for, what is this? Oh, this is our, okay, yeah, our charging cord. That's what that is. All right. So we'll just go ahead and file this to the side for the time being. Interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so here is the Nubia Flip 5G, 6.9 inches corner to corner. Right side of the device, we've got our red power button, and red is my favorite color, so I am not mad at that color combination. It actually looks pretty dope against this gold. Volume rocker obviously right above it, down, up, antenna line right there. Then when we scroll to the top of the device, we've got a noise canceling microphone, and antenna line there on the left, and antenna line there on the right. Okay, on the left side of the device, here is our SIM tray. Okay, we've got another antenna line here, another one here. Here is our hinge. Okay, another antenna line there on the left bottom. And then on the bottom of the device, we've got a noise canceling microphone, antenna line, Type-C port, antenna line, microphone. And again, we do have dual stereo speakers. So we have one microphone coming out of the earpiece of the device, which is up top, right up here. And then the other sound is being projected through the speaker grill on the device right there. All right, so let's see. Oh, that felt good. That felt real good. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this may this may give Motorola and Samsung a run for the money, for sure. I like this. I like the way it feels, I like the way it looks. It's different. I also like the fact that too, when it's closed, there's no gap in between. Right? It's totally flat. Like I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of that, for sure. Okay. It's this Nubia right there. Yeah. All right, ladies and gents. So I'm going to pause the video for a moment, and I'm going to go ahead and get everything situated and set up. And then I'll be back at the desktop, and, you know, in typical pristine fashion, you know, we'll kind of, you know, scrutinize the settings, you know, check out, you know, features, functions, you know, things of that nature, talk a little bit about this or that. Talk about camera performance. You know, I'll take some still shot images, you know, just so you can kind of get an understanding of, you know, how this phone is rocking and so forth. And so, you know, keep it locked right here. I'll be right back with you. Hold it down. All right, y'all, we are back in. Got everything set up here on the Nubia Flip 5G, and I gotta say, I'm quite impressed. You know, I like the design of the device. I like the way that it looks, the way that it feels. it kind of puts me in the mind frame of an iPhone, so to speak, with just just the construction, around the sides and the bottom. I mean, just it's kind of like it's got this kind of boxy look with the rounded corners. And you could see this being the gold sunshine color. I don't know if you could see in the glare, but it's got like these little, I don't know, it looks like glitter almost, just the, like, you could see it when light reflects off of it. It's kind of hard to see through the camera lens, but it's really nice. It's very nice. And of course you get to the home screen here, and you're greeted again with a beautiful OLED panel, 120 hertz. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, Nubia is the sub-brand of ZTE. So if you are into ZTE phones, then this is going to be right up your alley, because it's pretty much the same type of experience. ZTE phones, they run off of my OS. And there's a lot of stuff packed within the software here on my OS, and I'm a big fan of it. Just the more bells and whistles I've got to play with, the better. The more customizations there are to really personalize your device and really make it your own. Right? I'm a huge fan of such things. Now, some people may think it may be a little too much. Some people would prefer more of a simpler approach, and if that is you, then I would definitely recommend the Moto Razr Plus 2023. There is a cheaper variant of the Moto Razr, which people would more than likely try to compare this to, because I know that device, the Moto Razr 2023, I also believe falls around like that I think it's like $4 or $5.99 price range, which is right around the price range that this device is. And so that's one of the things that's so compelling about this particular flipping device, is the $4.99 price tag. Now, the Moto Razr 2023, good phone. I had it, but I had it for a very short time, because it's got a much smaller external display. And when you've had the Moto Razr Plus first, and you've gotten used to that, and you've gotten used to that external display and the full functionality of it, and then you go to something like the Razr 2023, which it kind of gives you the feel and the vibe of the Z Flip before it expanded its display to compete with the Razr Plus 2023. It didn't really do it for me, so I returned it. I did do an unboxing on that, and I just never published it. So I don't know, maybe I'll go ahead and publish that for those of you that are interested in that device. Good device, and if the external display isn't really all that big of a deal to you, then I think that is going to be a great option for you if you don't want to go with something like this. But yeah, I'm a big fan of ZTE. My last ZTE phone was the Axon 30 Ultra, or was it the Axon 40? Yeah, I think it was the Axon 30 Ultra, and I loved that phone. And so this is taking me back a little bit, and I'm actually glad that I picked this up. Now, what we'll do really quickly is we'll pop down into About Phone, and we'll go over some of the Nubia Flip 5G model number, Android version right there. You can see Android 13, CPU Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 mobile platform, octa-core max 2.4 gigahertz. Storage space, we've got total storage is 256 gigabytes, but fresh out of the box, you are only getting 207.99 gigabytes. Why? Because of the actually, you know what? Correction. My bad. I don't want to mislead anybody. So I've already got this phone set up. You know, I did a restore from another one of my devices, and so all the applications and things I've already got set up on here. So, pardon me. The 207.99 gigabytes that's available on my device is what's available after I've already downloaded like 60 something apps on here. Okay, now fresh out of the box, I wish I would have checked that before I downloaded all my apps onto the device, just so that you guys will have an accurate storage count as far as your gigabytes. I really hope at some point, ladies and gentlemen, we get to a point to where if a device is advertised to have a certain amount of gigs as far as the storage, that's exactly what it is, right? Because even this device, it's the 256 gig variant, but fresh out of the box, you don't get 256 gigs of storage available because of the pre-installed applications, because of the software that's on the devices. They don't tell you that takes away some of the gigage. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Flossie. You know what I'm saying? But, creative with the words. But they don't tell you that the pre-installed applications that come on the device, are pulled from the storage space that is on the device. I mean, so if a phone is advertised to have 128 gigs, 256 gigs, 512 gigs, a terabyte, you're not actually getting that amount of gigabyte storage because of the pre-installed applications, they take from that. Now, you still may have, a pretty significant amount. I mean, even, with all my apps downloaded on here, I mean, it says I've got available 207.99 gigabytes. I mean, I could have a 16 or a 32 ounce, a 16 or a 32 gigabyte storage device, and I would be just fine, just because I don't do a lot of like downloading and storing a bunch of stuff on my phone, and stuff like that. I have specific apps where I keep things, a lot of the heavy duty stuff that I need to access, they're on my computers. I mean, I'm not really accessing those things on my phone. I'm not downloading movies or anything like that. I mean, I think the most that I download on my phone that really, really takes up space is music. And music doesn't really take up a whole lot of space, you see. So, yeah, I mean, storage space, I mean, for me, plenty. Now, like I said, I mean, there are two variants of this device. I mean, this is the $499, which is going to get you 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. But then you could spend $699, right? 700 is going to get you 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage in this device. All right. But again, RAM capacity, 8 gigabytes plus 12 gigabytes. And I believe that's like a RAM boost. Okay, so RAM capacity based on the AI algorithm, the system compresses and dynamically exchanges apps, memory data in real time, which improves actual memory usage and increases the ability to keep background apps alive. Wow, okay, that's pretty dope. So extended RAM, phone storage can be used as extended RAM when it is sufficient and the system runs more smoothly. And then you could select the extended RAM size. I mean, so you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. By default, it's on 10. So you could scale it down to 2 or just keep it on 10. I didn't even know that this phone had such a thing. I mean, so that's actually that's pretty dope. I mean, from a performance standpoint, for a fact. But yeah, it gives you, the screen resolution. Again, we're running Android 13 right there. You see the 13 My OS. So, there's your confirmation, ladies and gentlemen, of the actual software that we are working with on the Nubia Flip 5G. Now, what I'll do is we'll do a quick overview, really quickly, of the biometrics. And, biometrics, they're lightning quick. There's the always on display right there. I'm really a fan of the colored power button. And I also like the fact too that there's a little bit of space between the power button and the volume rocker. I think that some devices, they put that too close, and it can be confusing to some, as to which button is which, especially like if you are, trying to navigate the device while it's in your pocket or something like that. It'd be very easy to get those buttons mixed up, and then it's like you end up, attempting to press the power button, but you're either, toggling the volume up or down. You may have it set exactly where you want it, and now you kind of got to go back through it because you accidentally turned something up or down, or however you got your phone set up. I mean, the volume buttons can do different things, but I personally like to keep the volume buttons for the volumes. You know what I mean? I don't remap them to do other things. So I like the fact that the power button is, it's not too far from the volume rocker, but it's not too close either, right? There's a gap in between, and I mean, I don't know, I don't want to say the power button, I mean, it's flush, like it's flat. It doesn't have like any ridges or anything like that, but I think just the placement of the power button, like if I had this in my pocket and I was navigating it, I've touched the power button enough times to where I know what it feels like, and it sits flush on the side of the device, as opposed to the power buttons, they protrude a little bit, you see. So that for me would be, the cue if I was, touching this phone without looking at it, like, okay, I know that the power buttons, they protrude a bit, they stick out, or the volume buttons rather, the power button is flush, it's flat along with the side rails. And so, that would be what would help me know what my finger's on, you see. But we'll see here. Fingerprint sensor is lightning quick. Barely tap it and the phone just opens up. I do love that double tap to sleep and double tap to wake feature, straight out of LG's playbook. Rest in peace to LG. Man, I hope they, resurrect at some point. It'd be good to see them get back in the mobile game. But we do have double tap to sleep, double tap to wake. Okay. That was your facial recognition. Let's try that again. It happens quick. And I have it set to where, when the phone unlocks after it recognizes my face, that it doesn't go to the previous screen. So you'll see the little lock unlock, but then I still have to swipe up in order to get to the home screen here. So we'll go ahead and lock, unlock, boom. Okay, you see the little lock right there. It's unlocked. And then you just swipe up, and then that's going to take you home. Okay, so biometrics on this device, I mean, it works exactly the way that it's supposed to. I mean, I've got nothing really to say about it. It's fast. It doesn't take me long to get into my device. I'm pleased with it. Right? That's like in my mind, that's like a flagship, caliber biometric system. Fingerprint sensor is lightning quick. Facial recognition is lightning quick. You can set the facial recognition to where, right when it scans your face, it'll take you to whatever you're doing last, or take you to your home screen, or you can have it what I just demonstrated, for the sake of more privacy. The device will open up once your face is recognized, but you'll still have to like swipe up on the display to access whatever you're doing last, or to access your home screen. All right. Now, quick performance. Another thing that I like about my OS as well is the ability to change, the scrolling animation, right? And so I like this little 3D effect. Again, shout out to LG, man. They originated that, on the G series devices, even on the LG, the curves, those the phones that were curved. Y'all remember those? I can't. Were they called the curve? There was something. It was something along those lines, and there were two of them. There was a first gen and a second gen, and I noticed on those devices that LG, and that was years ago, but they gave you the ability to, change, the scrolling effect on the devices. I mean, and I thought that was super dope. And so you see some phones, they carry on that tradition, and they give, the user the ability to do that. And, like I said, I mean, if you're big on customizations and being able to, customize your apps and the app shapes and things. And I understand, Android, they've kind of implemented that, to be a standard thing within the software, but that wasn't always the situation, right? There were only select phones that would allow you to do stuff like that and really, personalize your device even more. And so it's like whenever I see that implementation, I get excited about it because, it just adds a little swag to the device, right? Just the typical, side scrolling, here's my S24 Ultra, that works, but it gets a little old at times, you know what I mean? And some people, they don't care about such things because they're just like, hey, I just want to be able to scroll and just get to my apps, you know what I mean? And click on it and handle business, you know what I mean? But like I said, if you're big on customizations and stuff like that, it's a big deal to you to be able to customize, your app icons and the way that they look, or the shapes, the icon shapes, to customize the animation, you know what I mean? This looks very different than just the typical, side scrolling, like this. And again, there's nothing wrong with this, right? This works, and this is what we've all grown used to, right? This is how we all navigate our Android and our iPhones. But just again, just the little things, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hard guy to please, man. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure, some people may think that I'm, flamboyant or, materialistic. And no, I like the finer things. And, I work hard. I play hard. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed with some nice little trinkets. But I don't worship these things. You know what I'm saying? I'll never get material things confused as to who's deserving of all praise and glory for all the many blessings that have been bestowed upon me. But I like nice stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I got a few things, but it's the simple things. You know what I mean? That matter to me most. You know what I mean? Little things like having the ability to change the scrolling animation, like that's huge for me. You know what I'm saying? And so, when I long press on the display, you got wallpaper, you got widget, you got effect, and then you got personalization, and then home screen settings. And so then what you can do is you can hit effect, and you have your normal side screen scroller. You got cross flip. That's what the one that I had selected is called. You got wave. You got cube out. That's like a box, like a cube. You got cube in. And then you got glass. Okay, so you've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got like 6 different choices to choose from. Me, that one right there, that's the one that I like, because that kind of gives me that LG feel, like, just I can't think of the name of the effect, but it was like you were turning a page, and when you scrolled to the left or right, it literally looked like a 3D effect. It looked as though the apps were getting ready to come out of the screen at you. It was dope how they did that effect. Yeah, if y'all didn't know, man, I was a big fan of LG, man. It was pretty painful, to see them exit the mobile division in the fashion in which they did. So, like I said, man, it'd be nice to see them make a comeback at some point. But hey, we'll see. But performance, you see, as far as scrolling and things, the phone is lightning fast. Some people may ask, well, pristine, since it flips clamshell style, do you notice, when you're scrolling, do you feel, the little divot in the screen? Yes, you do feel it. It's right here. It's not anything that you can see. You know what I mean? It's there, right? It's noticeable, but it's not anything egregious. Now again, you want to be extremely cautious about how you're using your phone, because again, these the flipping phones, folding phones, these are still relatively new technology, even though it's a blast from the past, but the technology is different now. You got these polymer displays, which is like a hard plastic that has the ability to fold or flip, and they can be very fragile. So ZTE on the box, as soon as you open the phone, and even when you turn on the device, right? When you turn on the device, as you're going through the whole setup process, it'll give you a quick tutorial like, yo, handle this device with care. Don't peel anything off. If it appears as though there's a screensaver already applied on the device, don't peel it off, because if you do, you're actually peeling the screen, which is going to damage it. And if that's what you do, then the warranty is null and void. I think this phone is covered under warranty for like a year after you get it. But I mean, if the damage to the screen is self-inflicted and not accidental, then filing that claim ain't gonna do you no good. You're gonna have to spend another $500 on yourself a new Nubia Flip 5G. So just be careful with that. And I understand, I get it. Some people are just like, oh, well, that's why I'm not into folding or flipping phones right now, because the screens, they're not really durable and this and that. No, they've gotten better from the first iterations. They've come a long way, actually, in my opinion. You know, but again, it's a piece of tech. You know, tech needs to be handled with care. You know, certain tech is much more durable and can be handled, you know, more rough. But these phones ain't that. You know what I mean? And so, you know, if you like to roughhouse your device, then I wouldn't recommend, you know, that you get any folding or flipping phone, because you have to handle those phones with care. And as much money as they cost, yeah, yeah. Handle with care, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, performance, let's see, go to YouTube. All right, now I, ladies and gentlemen, am connected to my Wi-Fi at home, which is very powerful and fast. And so data speeds are going to differ from a home internet connection. Right now, again, this phone is called the Nubia Flip 5G. So we do have 5G compatibility. You know what I mean? Depending on your area, you may, in your carrier, you know, you may have 5G access. And the idea of, you know, whatever G, 5G, 6G, 4G is to really try to get as close to home internet speeds as possible, but on a data network. You see, so depending on where you are, where you live, I mean, you know, your cellular data connection may be a little bit faster, maybe a little bit more reliable than your internet connection at home. I don't know. You know, maybe you got a faulty router or something like that, if that's the situation. Or maybe you just got crappy internet service. I don't know. But yeah, you know, it's gonna differ. So I am connected to my Wi-Fi at home. I actually haven't popped the SIM card in the device just yet to really start getting to use it, because I'm still testing some other devices. Yeah, you see everything is very responsive, lightning quick to the touch. Okay, here is the app drawer right here, which I love the way that, you know, my OS, just the way that it looks. I mean, you know, it's an app drawer, but you know, when you're Google devices or just stock Android, I mean, it's plain, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I like to see, you know, something different, you know, switch it up a little bit. All right, so again, pop in the YouTube. Oh, I was just in YouTube. Pop into Spotify real quick. Okay, see, it just took a second to load that up. And you see, once I'm in it, things are nice, fluid, responsive. Well, it's like things are loading. There we go. Okay, we'll pop up out of that. Let's go to YouTube Music. And these are like really, you know, big files as far as like the amount of music playlist, you know, hundreds. Spotify, I've got like 1,600 playlists. You know, it's insane. I mean, I'm very much so a music buff. I'm all over the place with music, and yeah. So the fact that these apps just, you know, pop in like they're nothing. Go to Epidemic Sound real quick. Epidemic Sound, ladies and gentlemen, is if you listen to if you check out my full reviews, at the tail end of my full reviews, that's usually, you know, I've started like consolidating, and I've been doing this for a while. I used to make, you know, 3 videos per device that I would review. I would do an unboxing, dedicated camera, and then the full pristine review. And just for the sake of time constraints and just my schedule being busy and the fact that I'm just a one-man show and I do this on my own, which is why it takes me so long to put out content, just because I've got so many different things going on during the in-between, and sometimes it's just hard to peel away to get to this, even though I love doing it so much. I decided to consolidate the camera review with the full pristine review. So it's like I'll do the full pristine review video, then at the tail end of that video is where I put the camera reviews. And so a lot of the music that you guys are hearing when you're watching those camera reviews at the end of the pristine reviews of whatever device, a lot of the music comes from Epidemic Sound. And I pay like $15 a month for a subscription. They have different tier subscriptions, you know what I mean? But this music app was created specifically for creators, right? I don't have to worry about any kind of copyright, infringement or anything like that. There's been a few situations where I went on YouTube and, found some supposed no copyright music that I thought was nice, put it on the video, on the pristine review, right? Because, I like to have a little, musical heaven, you know what I'm saying, for your ears, for you guys to rock out to while you're looking at the still shot images and the video footage of whatever phone I'm reviewing. And, sometimes whoever the creator was of that particular track, well, they may start working with an artist at some point. They may use that beat. And then at that point, once they monetize, that track, because an artist purchased it from whoever produced that track, then even though I may have published a video with that same track in it months, if not years prior, well, because I use that track, I get messages from YouTube like, hey, you got to change this because this song is playing in this video, even though you put this video out like a year ago. But the producer of this track has sold this track to an artist and it's being utilized, which means you don't have the rights to use it. And if you don't remove it, you're going to get hit with copyright infringement, which is going to be a strike against you on YouTube. And so just to avoid all that, Epidemic Sound was created for, creators, and it's different artists you've never heard of before that are super dope. There's so many musically gifted and musically talented people out here that are not in the spotlight. They're not mainstream. They're not Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? They contract, with Epidemic Sound. I'm pretty sure they get like a percentage from Epidemic Sound by putting their music on here, and it's all genres, right? Rap, R&B, jazz, classical, whatever you're into, right? Whatever, Afrobeats, reggae, whatever you're into. And as long as you're paying for a subscription per month, you have complete access. You have a contract to use, right? You have the freedom to use whatever, and I mean whatever music you find on Epidemic Sound in your videos with no copyright anything, right? You don't have to put the name of the artist and the song, in the description box. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe you could do that, if you want to, just to kind of bring some attention to that artist, because like I said, there's a lot of dope creators that are making beats, they sing, they rap, they do their thing that you may have never heard of before. And so if you just want to show that person some love, just to kind of bring some positive publicity to that person, then state the name of the track in the description box so people can know what it is. But you got to let them know it's on Epidemic Sound, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, if you're a creator and you're looking to get some music, that you're not going to have to worry about being, the threats of copyright infringement, man, Epidemic Sound is the one. And everything is on here. Everything. The app has gotten much more robust. I was testing the app out with Epidemic Sound before they even put the app out, when it was just a website. you know, and they were working on the app, and they reached out to me, and, you know, they would ask me for feedback, and I would give them free feedback. And so, you know, now it kind of has more of a feel of, you know, what you would find on, you know, Apple Music, Spotify, you know, the heavy hitters, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is just a quick example. These are all the genres: acoustic, ambient, blues, brass and marching band, breakbeat, children's music, cinematic, circus and funfair, classical, comedy, country, decades, disco, down tempo, easy listening, electronic, fanfares, folk, funk, hip hop, house. Right? It's in alphabetical order: jazz, Latin, metal, pop, punk, R&B, reggae, religious music, rock, soul, special occasions, world and countries. But then you got those are the genres. But then you go to the moods, right? And okay, what kind of mood are you into? You angry, chasing, epic, fear, funny, happy, relaxing, romantic, sad, scary, hopeful, dark, dreamy, mysterious, weird, eccentric, suspense, euphoric, laid back, quirky, restless, sentiment, sneaking, busy and frantic, changing tempo, elegant, floating, marching, heavy and ponderous, running, smooth, peaceful, sexy, glamorous, right? Those are all the different moods you can choose. Then you got themes, okay? You got sound effects. Man, epidemic sound, man. I pay $15 a month for this, and it's worth every single penny. Every single penny. But yeah. Swipe up and hold. This is gonna take you to all of your recents, which these things, they hold in the RAM very well. You don't have to worry about things reloading and such. Pop back in the epidemic sound. We'll pop back into Spotify. Oh, that had to reload real quick, but that took a second literally, so not really a big deal. But yeah, you guys, you get the drift. You get the gist. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I am going to pop down into the settings, and we'll breeze through this real quick, you know what I mean? So I'm not keeping us here, you know, all night. Again, this is my unboxing video, so you guys already know that I scrutinize everything during the unboxing video. My unboxing videos can be well over an hour, maybe even close to 2 hours, depending on the device. You know, but I want to try to show as much as possible so that if you commit to this device, then you know exactly what you're getting into. Please don't be in the comments complaining about how long the video is, because there are timestamps. You do not have to sit here and watch this whole video with me. If you do, great. And I appreciate you for that. But if you want to jump down in the description box where the timestamps are, just kind of jump around the video and listen to the parts of the video that are the most pertinent information to you, then feel free to do that as well. All right. That's why I put timestamps in these videos, because I know that these unboxings can be very, very lengthy videos. I don't mind it. I love it talking about it, because I know that it's helping a lot of people make informed decisions on their next smartphone purchase, which is the sole purpose for my channel. Okay. I'm not just, you know, make quick 5 to 7 minute video, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just hit you with, you know, the minimal, you know, amount of knowledge there is to know about the device and then send you on your way. Nah, I want you to know everything. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know that, hey, I watched Pristine's video and I got laced. Right? I got laced with everything that I needed to know. Okay? So if you're here, then that's what you're there for. Or that's what you're here for. So let's go through the settings, shall we? All right, hold on, let me get a little swig of water. Know what I mean? You know, getting a little parched. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. You know what I'm saying? Eagle Nation, stand up. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. All right, now. I was gonna say we have a little bit of a different configuration, but that would be a lie. I feel like my OS things used to be backwards, right? Like about phone and system and update and all that type of stuff used to be up top, and then connected devices and everything was at the bottom. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of a different operating system, because I know that some of them are not all the same, but I could have swore it was like that on one of my previous ZTE devices. But nonetheless, we got Wi-Fi, we got Bluetooth. You know, click on Wi-Fi, it's going to take you to the settings and different little things that you can do with the Wi-Fi in order for it to, connect, whenever it recognizes certain connections or whatnot, right? You can tell it to trust certain networks to connect to, that sort of thing. Bluetooth, use Bluetooth files received via Bluetooth. Don't have Bluetooth currently on right now. Mobile network, this is where you're going to see your network data, all that information. SIM cards, okay, we got SIM tray 1 and 2. So again, there's your confirmation that we do have dual SIM technology on this device, and we do have PSIM, which stands for physical SIM, or eSIM. Okay, so you can download an eSIM card to this device, and that'll give you full access. I believe that this device is only GSM unlocked. Actually, I'm not. I gotta find out about that. I'm not sure if it's GSM and CDMA unlocked. I think it is just GSM unlocked, but I could be wrong about that. Okay, so I have more information about that in the full pristine review. All right, connected devices. So this is where we have cast, NFC. So there's your confirmation that this phone does have NFC, VPN, private private DNS. I was gonna say do not disturb, and connection preferences. Okay, so by default, it's Android Auto. For the connection preferences. All right, so now we got personalization settings, right? And so here we have Nubia Classics, and this is like the theme. And when you click on that, this is going to give you the ability to change it to the Nubia Classic or ZTE or Android. And like I said, I'm just more of a fan of, the MyOS. I don't want to say I'm more of a fan. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me, ladies. It's midnight, and I've been up since 3 a.m. So, if I may yawn a couple more times, and I know that yawning is contagious, and so my apologies if me yawning caused you to yawn. Hey, I'm tired, man. You know what I'm talking about? But hey, I gotta take advantage of opportunities when I can. So here we are. But yeah, you have Nubia Classic or Android. So I like something different. So I'm gonna keep it on Nubia Classic. Okay, we have wallpaper, lock screen settings. Okay, if you pop into that, it's going to give you the ability to change the clock on the lock screen. You see we've got a bunch of different options there. Okay, show pedometer, display pedometer on lock screen, and then lock screen signature. So this is where you go if you just want to have like a signature or something on the lock screen. Most of my devices, like if I lock them, then the always on display, it'll show Pristine's whatever the device is. For like this one, it's gonna say Pristine's Nubia Flip 5G. Well, lock screen signature is where I go, and then I can type that in and hit save, and then whenever the screen is locked, you'll see Pristine's Nubia Flip 5G. Okay, so that's where you go to get something like that on the display. Okay, we got wallpaper, app icons. Okay, so you've got, by default, it's on firm. You got youth, which is circular. Firm is like a square. Classic. Lucky is like a I don't know, is that a squircle? It's like a square circle type of deal. And then you got this here, that one's called dynamic. And then you got beautiful third-party app icons. Use the effect that comes with app icons. And And then you got home mono icons, icon color changes with system color. Okay, so whichever one of the app icons you choose, just hit apply and it will apply, you know, that change. All right, so we'll go ahead and head out of that. Daily wallpaper, I mean, that is it's basically a service that's going to give you a new, very nice, colorful wallpaper every day. Now I know that having that on can drain the battery a little more, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I just always decide to do just like a solid wallpaper rather than like animated wallpapers. But yeah, then you got, you know, animation, color and shapes, font, and then always on display. Okay, so if you go to animation, oh wow, it gives you, so you could, so this is the animation that when you unlock your phone, like say after you just used biometrics, or if you're just in an app and you close out that app and it goes back to your home screen, this is the, this is animation speed. So you could have slow, default, or fast. And you see it's just giving you a tutorial of what it looks like. So we'll just keep it on default for now. I didn't know that that was what that was. Okay, so then we got color and shapes. And you see, again, this is where we can choose the shape of our app icons. We can choose the different color combinations and such. So a lot of stuff here to choose from. Font sizes, and you got font size, font weight. Okay, and so it has like an example of like text messaging up here. So you'll see like if you change these, how that's gonna affect what the text messaging looks like. Which I think is super dope. Usually I only see like the ability to change the font size, never the font weight. That's actually the first time that I've seen the font weight. Matter of fact, what is that? Oh, okay, so the font weight, just if you increase it, it just basically bold text, bold lettering. Okay, so you see by default, it says default, but then if I click it to the higher one, it'll go bold, and then you'll see the lettering up here in the example text to get a little bit more bold. And then if I go all the way to the right, then it says ultra bold. Okay, so then so we've got thin, default, bold, ultra bold. Okay, we'll just keep it on default for now. But that's dope, right? That's what I'm saying. Customizations. I mean, that type of stuff is very, very, very critical in my mind, right? And then we got always on display. Okay, and of course I've got always on display turned on. I'm not the type of guy that likes my always on display to be on all day. I like for it to start at 7 p.m. and to cut off at 7 a.m. Now, why is this? Because most of the time between those times, my phone is on me. It's on my person. And I'm also wearing, I have a smartwatch with every device that I have. And so I don't necessarily need to be constantly looking at my phone at the display to check the time or to check the date or to check and see if I got notifications, right? My watch is gonna, you know, chime and, you know, let me know about all that stuff. Now, when I get home and it starts getting into the evening, when I'm relaxing, my watch is off, no Bluetooth in my ear, you know, then it's nice to just kind of have my phone just sitting on, you know, whatever I've got it sitting on, and be able to glance over and just look at the display. You see, it's 12:06 in the morning, Thursday, May 2nd, 97% battery life. I mean, if there was any notifications, you know, they would be the little notification icon up underneath that. So yeah, we have always on display styles, and you see here, I mean, we have lots of them. Animated always on display, digital clocks, okay, analog clocks, and then we have text signatures. Okay, then you got manage up there. If you hit manage, oh, my style. Okay, so I guess you can create different styles and you can just select it whenever you want to, just as like a quick, like a quick toggle, if you will, rather than having to just go through all the stuff to find, you know, what you need, which is pretty dope. Okay, so yeah, so that's always on display, and this is what it's gonna look like here. Like you got your time, your date, battery life, and then again notifications. If there's notifications that you've gotten, you'll be able to see, you know, what those notifications are. And I don't believe that you can interact with them, you know, without unlocking the device. Kind of like, you know, Motorola, you know, they give you the option to interact with certain notifications without the phone, or while the phone is locked. I don't believe that the Nubia Flip 5G here gives you the ability to do that. But again, always on display. You have display for 10 seconds after tapping screen, which is recommended. You have always show, then you have custom schedule. And then this is when, if you choose custom schedule, then it's gonna ask you, okay, what time do you want AOD to turn on, start time, end time, and then it says auto off when battery is low. So when the battery is below like 15%, then in an attempt to preserve the battery that I've got left, then it's just gonna turn always on display off. All right, so there is that's your personalization settings. Okay, now the outer display, we have a circular outer display, and so this is where you're gonna go to, you know, customize, you know, the wallpaper for it. So you got outer display wallpapers. Okay, so if we click on that, then, you know, got some fun, cute little you know, outer display wallpapers here, and you see we've got my wallpapers. Okay, pet wallpapers is only 3. Oh no, God, my kid, my little girls, they'll love these little cat. They're so into cats. Sanaya particularly. We have 2 cats. I've never really been an animal person like that, but you know, got a couple of kittens a little while ago, and so it's actually been fun having them around. But if my daughter's seen these little kittens, oh, she'd be all over this phone, you know, and it would be just, it'd just be these little kitten wallpapers everywhere. But we have live wallpapers. Okay, we have national flower wallpapers, landmark wallpapers, abstract wallpapers, realistic wallpapers, and landscape wallpapers. Okay, whichever one you choose, make sure you hit apply, and that will be your wallpaper until you decide to change it. Okay, now we have outer display, always on display. Okay, and this is what it looks like on mine. You know, I got the moon, excuse me, time, date, and battery life. Okay, if we click on that, these are the different outer display, always on display wallpapers that are available. Not as much as the wallpaper, but you've got some choices. You got some things to choose from. You could add a signature as well. I mean, so you can have something customized on the outer display that will show during the always on display, if that's what you want to do. And then we've got the outer display functions, right? So here is where you can control, you know, what you're gonna have to scroll through. So you've got camera, weather, music, calendar, agenda, fitness, timer, and voice recorder. And I don't know if you guys can see, there's these little blue checks on the upper right of the functions. And the ones that are checked blue are the ones that you'll be able to scroll through on your outer display. If you don't want that there, then you just click on it to uncheck it. So once you uncheck it, while you're scrolling on your external display, fitness won't pop up. Neither will agenda, because I don't have either of those 2 checked. Okay, so if I want fitness to pop up, to be something that I can scroll through on the external display, then I just hit the check again. All right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the external screen function. Okay. And you can see with that, it's not as robust as the Moto Razr Plus 2023, just because, I mean, again, that's a fully functioning outer display. You can literally do everything on that outer display. Things are going to be a little small, but you could do everything on it. Okay. Samsung, they've made some strides to try to compete with that. And I know that they've got a couple of updates and they've updated, you know, what you can do with their external display, but it's still not like the Motorola one, right? Because it's not a fully functional display. There's still limitations of what you can do on the Samsung Z Flip 5. Okay. If you want to just have full free range to do whatever you want to do on the external display, even though it's small, it's the biggest external display on a clamshell folding device, the display that's on the Moto Razr Plus 2023. That will be the one that I would recommend. You know, if you just want full functionality with the phone open or closed, then that'd be the phone to get. And, you know, I mean, it's been out for a little while now. I'm seeing crazy sales on it. I'm seeing, you know, Best Buy, they're selling it for like $300 or $400 off. You know, the regular price is was $1,000 when I got it. So, you know, $300 or $400 off. I mean, that's not a bad price for that device at all. But I mean, that to me, ladies and gentlemen, is the device to beat as far as the clamshell folding style devices. Yeah, let's move on. Okay. Let's see. So you got a little functionality here. So answer and hang up. Unfold to answer calls. Okay, that's selected by default. Fold to hang up calls. That's also selected by default. Okay, I'll go ahead and leave that on for now. All right. So we got home screen settings. This is where, like when I long pressed on the display earlier, if I would have clicked on settings, it would have took me to this, but you can also access this through the actual settings menu. And this is add app icons to the home screen. So whenever you download a new app, you know, if you want it to pop up on the home screen, having that checked is going to do that. If you uncheck it, then it'll just keep that new app that you just downloaded in your app drawer. Okay. We got app screen badge app icon. And what that is just like the little red dot on an app that indicate that you have a notification. But I also like too, it's not just a dot. You can select dot or number. So if you select number, there's going to be a dot and there's going to be a little number inside the dot. The number inside the dot is telling you how many notifications you have on that particular app. So like, you know, let's just say on my text messaging app, there's going to be a little red dot next to the app indicating that I got text messages. If there's a 5 in the little dot, then that means I've got 5 missed text messages that I need to check. We got icon layout. I always do 5x6. I like 5 apps across, 6 apps going up and down. Right, that's my thing. I know that some do like 4 and 6, where they have like 4 apps going across, 6 going up and down. No, I like 5 by 6. That's my thing. But this is where you can change, you know, that orientation as well. All right, home screen mode. You got standard mode, drawer mode, or simple mode. I like drawer mode because I just like to have the apps of my choosing on the home screen. And then if I want to access everything, then I can just swipe up to access the app drawer. Now, standard mode is no drawer. It's just all your apps just on pages and pages of apps that you've got on your home screen. And how many ever apps you have, that's going to determine the amount of pages that are going to be created. So I think that things are a lot more like uniform and organized by having an app drawer. But I mean, if you don't want that, you don't have to have it. But this is where you change that. in home screen mode. All right. So we got lock home screen layout. Yeah, let's do that. App autofill. This autofill empty spaces when apps are removed. Loop screen. Go from last screen to first screen just by swiping. Home screen entering animation after unlock. And then Zboard, recommend news and service info on this screen. And so basically on this device, Zboard is Google Now. So you know how like on like a Pixel, on a lot of phones, when you swipe hard to the right, it's gonna take you to your Google Now feed, and there's gonna be all types of information that's pertinent to you know, your sports team scores, or, you know, different type of news outlets, right? That kind of thing. It's all going to be pertaining to you. Well, this is the Zboard right here. This is Nubia's or ZTE's rendition of that. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you could turn that off, you know, under home screen settings to where when you swipe hard to the right, there'll be nothing. Okay. All right. Then it says you are looking for, if you're looking for something else, then there's always a couple of recommendations down here. You got themes or personalization settings. All right. So display. Okay, we got dark mode. Of course, that's always on. All black everything. No racist. You guys know how I get down. Just black is one of my favorite colors. Well, red is my favorite color. Black is my secondary favorite color. Red and black is my favorite color combination. Period. So any phone that I ever have, dark mode is getting turned on immediately. Right? So yes, we got dark mode, read mode, night light, color mode, and standard. What is this? Okay. So this is where you got standard, colorful, or soft. You can change the color temperature. I didn't mean to move that. But you can make it, you know, by default, it's on normal, but you can go warm, cool. Doesn't give you the ability to change the RGB, which let's see, if you go to colorful, which a lot of times that's like oversaturated, and then sometimes that will give you the ability to change the RGB. Let's see, if you go soft, nope. Okay, so yeah, so this is color mode and temperature. You can change it from colorful, standard, which is normal. Colorful is like oversaturated a bit, or what a lot of other devices would call dynamic, right? Or soft. Then, like I said, you can change the temperature to warm or cool. Okay. You've got your brightness level, automatic brightness, font size, display size, screen timeout, refresh rate. Now, this is one thing that I want to show you guys, because this is how higher refresh rates should be. I understand that, you know, we're living in a day and age now where a lot of the phones, it's standard for them to have a 90 hertz refresh rate. 120 is a popular one. I've seen certain devices 140, 165 refresh rate, like lightning fast. But this to me is how it should be. Okay. You should be given the choice to choose what you want your refresh rate to be. Now here you have auto. You have 60 hertz, 90 hertz, or 120. Why is that so big? Well, certain phones, and this isn't a bad thing, but certain phones have what's called a variable refresh rate, which means that it will basically dictate whatever the refresh rate should be based on what you're doing. And that's fine. But if you're the type of person where you just like to have control over these things, then having the ability to tell your phone where you want the refresh rate to be, and it stay at that refresh rate no matter what you're doing, that's more ideal for some. Now, having that variable refresh rate, obviously, you know, depending on how you have your refresh rate set, it can be a bit of a battery drainer. And that variable refresh rate will also toggle the refresh rate speeds based on what you're doing to also help conserve battery life. So there's some pluses with having a variable refresh rate. But me personally, I just like having that control, right? I don't want anything dictating what I'm doing. I want to be the dictator. Well, having this particular feature gives me the ability to do that. Did I mention earlier that it's just the little things, ladies and gentlemen, that please me? There aren't very many devices that I have seen, that I've reviewed, that didn't offer this. A lot of them have higher refresh rates, but they're variable refresh rates, or the only option that you have is to change it to the higher refresh rate or 60 hertz. Very few devices that I've had in my hand give you the ability to choose between 60, 90, 120 or above. So here at, $499, I mean, that's considered, a mid-range, price, depending on who you ask. I mean, $500 is still a lot of money. But you're getting a lot of bang for your buck here. This is a very compelling device at this price point. And I want to say that, if you're looking at getting this phone, but you've also got your eye on the Moto Razr 2023, which is just the standard Razr of last year, I feel like I'd be more compelled to recommend this every time, just because Motorola, they give you the ability to customize the device, but it's not my OS customizations, right? You can do more with this. And so it's like, I think both of these devices cost the same amount, but why not have the one that you could do more with? That's just my take on it, right? I mean, if we're supposed to be, wanting to get the most bang for our buck, then this just seems like it's going to be the logical choice, because you can just do more with it, but that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. All right, let's move on. Okay, so you got display-gation blur. Blurring the interface background enhances UI content visibility and aesthetics. Okay, well, that's on by default. Auto rotate, cutout display. What is that? If you toggle the switch, that's for apps that aren't really optimized for full display, so you can kind of force them. I don't really mess with all that stuff, but that's where that is. That's where that lives on the display. Okay, so we got notifications and status bar. So this is where you're going to go to toggle which apps you want to receive notifications from. Okay, you got show on lock screen. This is where you can control if you want to show all notification content, show sensitive content only when unlocked, or don't show notifications at all. This is where you can toggle that. Screen wake up, turn on screen automatically when receiving notifications. That's off. Home screen badge app icon, that's just the little dot that pops up on an application notifying you that you have an application. That's all that is. Full screen notification style. Okay, you got simple notification, traditional notification. Mine, I just keep it simple because it's just like a quick glance at the notification. I'd actually prefer to have that turned off. I wish there was a way that I can turn that off. Actually, let me see. Yeah, see, I can't uncheck it. It's like I can only check one or the other. Tap simple notifications to open notification app in a floating window, which provides an immersive experience when playing video or playing games. Okay. Traditional notification, tap traditional notification to turn on notification app in full screen. Pull down the handle to open notification app in floating window. That's okay. The app drawer, or I'm sorry, the notification shade when you swipe down from the top. All right. Status bar icons. Show notification icons. Show battery percentage. So these are all the notification icons that can be shown up top, and you can turn those off or on if you want. They're all on by default. So I'm just gonna leave that be. Okay. Pull down from the top. Pull down from the top of lock screen. And I've got it set, ladies and gentlemen, to where this is like, it's like an iPhone where to access the notifications, you swipe down from the left, and that's going to be all your notifications. Okay. Then if you want to access your quick toggles, you swipe down from the right, and that's going to take you to your quick toggles here. You see? So previously it was like you scroll down from the top, and it's going to give you your quick toggles, and then you'll just see some of your notifications, and then you swipe down again, then you'll see all of, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Before, you would swipe down and you'll see a portion of your quick toggles, but then you'll also see your notifications. Then if you swipe down a second time, then it will pull down the full quick toggle menu. Okay, here, just like on the iPhones, you swipe down from the top left, it's just showing all your notifications that you missed. Okay, swipe down from the right, these are all your quick toggles. Okay, so you do have the ability to do that as well. I mean, so if you're somebody coming to this device from an iPhone and you're just kind of stuck in that particular, configuration or orientation or whatever, then, it's nice to see that you've got that same ability or a similar ability, just like on the iPhones, to access your notifications or your quick toggles, because that's how you do it on the iPhones. You swipe down from the top left, bring down your notifications. Swipe down from the top right, it's going to bring down, your quick toggle settings. Okay, so that's a nice touch, straight out of Apple's playbook, but nonetheless, a nice touch. Okay. All right, then we go in advanced. Notification history, show recent and snooze notifications, conversations, bubbles, privacy, device app and notifications, notifications on lock screen, sensitive notifications. Then general, we got hide silent notifications and status bar, allowing notification snoozing, enhanced notifications. That's what's under advanced. All right. So that's all under notification and status bar. Now we'll go to sound and vibration. And we got ring, vibrate, silent. We got ring only, vibrate when ringing, or vibrate then ring. So, it's dope that you can kind of choose, how you want that to go. Again, I'm loving the fact that we have 4 different sections here. We got the phone volume, message and notification volume, music, video, and game volume, and then alarm. These volumes should all be separate. Okay. I'm so glad that we're past those days where the phone volume and the notification volume were consolidated. A lot of times I may just want to turn up my ringtone, but I want my notification tone to sound the same. And when they're consolidated, when you turn up one, it also turns up the other. I may be trying to turn down my notifications, but then I'm also turning down my ringtone, and I may not want to do that. You see, so just having the volume separated means that I can keep certain things exactly where I want them without having to worry about them getting turned down or turned up just because I'm trying to toggle something else beside it. Right? So I'm a huge fan of that. Huge. All right. So we got default volume button control. And this is what I was talking about, how you can remap the volume buttons to do other things besides control the volume. Okay. Got do not disturb, switch to silent or vibrate. Ring in silent mode, and then you got ringtones, and this is where we can go to toggle all that stuff. Now we do have DTS sound, DTS X Ultra sound. Okay, and so this is where we access that stuff. I mean, so, if you're connected, to a Bluetooth device, or, you're plugging in, then DTS-X is going to help you really be able to customize your sound to get the most out of your music experience on this device. Okay, so that's dope. I'm glad that that's been implemented. Okay, we have active audio route, wired headphones, personal audio preferences. When you click on that, you've got some presets: normal, music, movies, voice, game 1, game 2, game 3, and then custom. You do have a graphic equalizer. Okay, there's the EQ right there. Right, that's pretty dope. Oh, so it has to be enabled in order to access it. And then we got stereo preferences. So you got traditional, which is by default, brings the sound close to your head for a more traditional headphone experience. But then you got in front, brings the sound out and to the front, like two speakers in front of your head. Then you got wide, enhance the spaciousness of the original stereo recording. Okay, so these are all things that can be toggled under the DTS-X Ultra, which is found in sound and vibrations. And then other sounds, you got dial pad tones, screen locking sound, charging sounds and vibration, touch sound, screenshot sound, low battery reminder, touch vibration, and ringtone fade in. So ringtone will fade in during incoming calls, as opposed to just blaring once the phone starts ringing. That's actually a nice feature to have. Kind of ease into the ringtone so that it's not as jarring when it comes on. Okay, so then we have Sync Mind, and let's see, 5G smart communication. Okay, 5G smart communication. So it's recognizing that I'm connected to Wi-Fi, and smart antenna boosting, adaptive multi-antenna switch plan. With smart algorithms, it improves antenna efficiency for a better antenna performance. Okay, smart dual SIM, intelligently recognize SIM's signal strength, signal quality, network congestion, and data usage, and automatically switch between SIMs based on service delay and data use. Okay, then we got smart adaptive 5G, a battery saving technology in 5G network, and it helps to extend battery life. Go to settings. Okay, so that's what Sync Mind is. I wasn't quite sure what that was. Okay, features, system navigation. So this is where we want to go if we want to toggle the system navigation. This is where we can choose whether or not we want the 3 buttons there, or if we just want the gesture navigation, which pretty much all devices are running off of. You got a few people out there that are still, doing the navigation keys at the bottom, like real old school prehistoric, but to each his own. No diss, no judgment if that's how you rocking. All right, but this is where you go to toggle that. One-handed mode. So by default, that's turned off. And if you turn it on, then it lights up and it will tell you how to do it if you have the buttons at the bottom. And if not, you just simply swipe down, and now we're using one-handed mode. And okay, then we swipe back up to get back to it. Okay, so we have Z-Pop. What is Z-Pop? Oh, that's like a little quick. Okay, so that's a play out of Samsung's playbook there. We'll keep that off. I rarely use that type of stuff, but it's just like a little button that's on the display that you push it and you tap on it rather, and it'll give you the ability to save up to 9 apps, some of your favorite apps or whatever it's just kind of like a quick access type of deal. Okay, then we got custom button, customize default button, and the expand button, and that all comes alive if you turn that on. Okay, but I'm gonna keep it off. Okay. Record screen. Screen edge mistouch prevention. Okay, like that. And a small edge touch area makes edge areas more responsive and involves a high probability of touching edge area by mistake. So by default, it's on light. You can change it to medium or heavy or custom. And there's a little slider right here for you to be able to customize that depending on how you want it to be. Okay, but that's dope. Mistouch prevention in pocket. Improved mistouch prevention during a phone call. Okay, here are the gestures and motions. So double tap screen to wake, I got that turned on. Double tap screen to sleep, that's also on. 3-finger swipe up for split screen, that's also turned on. 3-finger swipe down for a screenshot. Okay, now here's the motions. Raise to wake, auto answer. Pick up the phone to lower ringtone volume. Yeah, I like that. Pocket mode, snooze or dismiss alarm. Change to earpiece, shake to turn on flashlight. Oh boy, they got that feature. Now, oh, okay, yeah, I knew that they had that feature on the Axon 30 Ultra, but it was kind of hit or miss. So that's actually one of my favorite features with the Motorola devices is that chop to turn on the flashlight. And then you can also like twist your hand to turn on the camera. And to turn off the camera, or you know, you can twist to turn on the camera, 2 twist to flip the camera from the main camera to the selfie camera, and then you can turn it off. Like that was dope. So, but that flashlight feature was a game changer, and so we'll see if it's a little better on this. Well, let's see. Let me see. Okay, shake to turn on flashlight. Okay, nothing's happening. So I don't know if that's just a gimmick, just to say that they got it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. Is there a tutorial? Okay, yeah, shake to turn on flashlight. Okay, let's see. Turn on flashlight from the lock screen by shaking the phone back and forth twice. Okay, yeah, that's what I was doing. That's kind of similar to the Motorola. Is it side to side though? Let's see. Interesting. I must be doing it wrong. All right, well, let me see. Try it. Okay, turn on flashlight from lock screen by shaking the phone back and forth twice. Oh, see, I enabled. Okay, yeah. See, this is gimmicky on this device. I mean, on the Motorola's, I mean, it works. It works every time. So I mean, yeah, I'll turn that off on this, man. I'll play with it some more. I'll have more information on it in the full pristine review, but you know, because obviously I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it does work and I'm just doing it wrong. But I know I've gotten so used to the Motorola, it's just literally like 2 chops. And it turns on the flashlight. That's a very, very useful feature. But that's gesture and motion. Okay. Scheduled power on or off, accessibility, wake up Google Assistant. And you're going to find all that under features. So then we have password and security, apps, battery, storage. Okay. So you see I've got 207.98 gigabytes of storage free. I've used 48.2 gigabytes thus far out of the 256. It also tells you here what is utilizing most of your gigs that are being utilized and occupied. The system data here is taking 13.29 gigabytes. Other data is taking 13.17 gigabytes. So yeah, that's under storage, location, privacy, safety and emergency, passwords and accounts, digital well-being and parental controls, Google, system and update. So let's see if we have an update. Checking for updates. It says your software is up to date. Okay. And then we have language and input, date and time, downloads, change phone. What is that? Phone switch provides you with the data migration function between. Oh, okay. So that's giving you the ability to switch phones, which I'm not doing that now. Yeah, so then you got backup, reset options, and then we have about phone, which we've already covered that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the settings. Now real quick, let me pop open the camera, and here we are, viewfinder. We've got camera family, pro, photo, video, night, and portrait. Okay. Let's go back to photo because that's what it is on by default. And let me see here. We got a little arrow to drop down right there. All right, so access a grid, 4x3, 16x9, 1x1 or full. And then here's a shutter timer, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or 10 seconds. What is this? Gradienter? Whoa. Not exactly sure what that is. And then we got more settings there. Okay, so special settings, intelligent beauty, that's off by default. Automatic night scene, eye detection, okay, watermark, display copy or display time, okay, gesture control, recognize a palm or V to auto start a 2-second photo capture, volume key, okay, you can remap the volume key to do different things in the camera app, fingerprint capture, shutter sound, intelligent power saving, and location. Okay, so we have the flash, HDR, AI, got color filters there. And let's see, we've taken a couple photos here. It's a really good looking photo there. The level of detail is just crazy to me. I mean, again, this is a 16 megapixel wide lens. But then when the display is closed, you've got the 50 megapixel wide lens with the 2 megapixel depth sensor. So, you know, I can imagine a lot of people are going to want to take selfies with the 50 megapixels. Why not? But this 16 is no joke. This is a good looking photo here. Oops. And real quick, I'll just take a quick photo of my little hourglass right here just so you can just see the speed. See if there's some shutter lag going on there. Okay, you see me hit the button here. Okay. Boom, seems to capture it right away. And you can see there, that's a clean looking photo. Got my 2 Bluetooth speakers in the back. Shot on Nubia Flip 5G. All right. Now let's go back and quick selfie real quick. Okay. And that is me behind the camera here. Really hot, sitting up under this hot light. But that's a very detailed looking photo right there. So yeah, I mean, I from what I'm seeing, I mean, it doesn't seem like, you know, the camera is gonna be a disappointment at all. And like I said, I mean, for, you know, $500, I mean, you know, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck here. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to call this one. And let's see, let's go ahead and fold it. And so you see the always on display, the moon there, and you know, while it's closed, let's see. So I've got to make sure it's unlocked. And so this is settings. This is weather. This is if you're listening to music, you can control your music. Okay. Calendar. Tap screen to turn on pedometer. This is, what is this? I think this is a timer. And then record audio. Now see, I personally would choose this orientation over the Razr 2023. Oh, let me plug up because my camera battery is about to die. And don't want that to happen. Okay. Boom, make sure that we are center. All right. Yeah, so me personally, I mean, just while the device is closed, I mean, this, you know, people talk about the portability of these devices, but this phone, when it's open, it's 6.9 inches, and when you close it, I mean, it's wide, right? So it's really wide. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, some people may find this to be cumbersome. I mean, it's wider than I would have expected. Let me see if it's wider than the Moto. Let me see. Let me turn on my Motorola because I've got the Razr Plus 2023 right here. And yeah, no, this is wide as well. So this is booting up, and you can see just already off top, and see again, you know, like with this, like if the phone is unlocked, well, I can unlock the phone while it's closed, but let me see. See, this is just a fully, I mean, just the whole front is just fully functional. And when you go from something like this to something like this, which I would prefer, if I had to choose between this device or the Moto Razr 2023, which is the one that just has the small strip display here, I think that I would choose this orientation because I think the circular, for one, you could see more. I don't necessarily know if you could do more, but I mean, you most certainly can see more. So this is just a different spin on the external display, and I like that, right? Like the display on the Razr 2023, the regular one, is pretty much like the same display that was on the Z Flips. You know, it was like this really small, thin, you know, not a whole lot of content that could be seen, right? I mean, it's kind of like that sort of vibe on the Razr 23, on the regular one. This is the Razr Plus. And so, you know, I got rid of my Z Flip 5 because of the external display here. You know, I got rid of my Razr 2023 because of the external display on this device. The Razer, it's a good device, the Razer 2023, but it's just after you experience that bigger display on this, it's just hard. It's hard to go back. And I actually would prefer this orientation over the one on the Razer 2023, just because I mean it's different, right? It's a different layout, and I like that. This isn't familiar like this. That the external display on the Razer 2023 is taking you back to the Z Flip days of just having that really small display on the front. And been there, done that. You know, so that's why me personally, I would always choose this over that. And you know, and I'm just talking about the external display. I would also choose this over the Moto, just because I mean it's just, I like my OS and there's just more to do, more customizations, you know, the more the better. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to call this video. So thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, you already know, hit that thumbs up button or hit the thumbs down if you aren't really feeling it much. I understand that, you know, my content isn't for everybody. Totally understand that. If you want to stay in tune with everything that Pristine is going to be doing, be sure to hit that notification bell so that when my videos drop, you'll get notified and you can be one of the first to check out that content. And if you do, be sure to get down in the comment section, which is where I'm always chilling at. Drop me any kind of questions, feedback, you know, whatever, and I will respond as quickly as I can. My only ask is that we keep it respectful. Let's talk tech peacefully. I mean, it's okay to disagree on different things, and you know, that's what makes us all unique because of the different things that we're into. But it's good to know that we can, you know, share technology, you know, with the masses and find things in common or not. But I just ask that we have respectful conversations in the comment section. All right. So again, thank you guys for rocking with me on this video. I hope this was informative. If you're really, you know, pondering the idea of buying the Nubia Flip 5G, I think it's a good phone, especially for the price. I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. But is it for you? Let me know down in the comments. And stay tuned for the full Pristine review, which that's going to also entail the camera review of the Nubia Flip 5G. All right. So you already know, please stay safe, get spiritually fit if you haven't already. We're definitely living in the last days, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not saying that to scare you. That's just the reality of the situation. And if you haven't gotten saved yet, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? If death were to creep around some unsuspecting corner, where would your soul rest for eternity? Ask yourself. And if you're not living, you know, if you're not living right, then giving yourself that hard reality check may straighten you out. You know, but accept the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ into your life, no matter what your circumstances may be. He could take any crooked stick and make it straight. Doesn't matter. He conquered the world, so it doesn't matter what you're going through. There's nothing you can bring to him that he cannot handle, and he will never place too much upon you that you cannot handle. And it's like, you know, once you understand that, then you'll be a lot better off in whatever your circumstances may be. All right. So I just pray for all of you that, you know, God's peace and joy is among you, is amongst you. And you already know, man, I'll catch you in the next one. Keep it pristine. Peace.